Okay, I have a little treat for you guys. We're going to be breaking down in video form the deductions that came specifically in Simone Biles' landings in the floor final. This is only going to be deductions that apply to her landings. I am not a judge. I do not have the knowledge to accurately score the entire floor routine, but I do know how landing deductions work, so let's go through it together. So before we look at this, let's establish a small hop or a small step is 1/10 of a point off per hop or step on a landing. A large hop or large step is 0.3 off, and that's usually determined as more or less than shoulder width apart, being large or small. In addition to that, going out of bounds with 1 foot will get you a 0.1 penalty, a 1/10 penalty, and going out of bounds with 2 feet will get you a 0.3 or 3/10 penalty. So let's look at Simone's landings on her passes and apply that knowledge. All right, first pass here, I've slowed this down for you guys. Here we can see her in the triple double, and then this landing extra slow, that is just one little hop. So that would be 1/10 off on that landing. Second pass, this is where things get hairy. We're going through the pass. We see the landing slowed down here. She lands, does a large 3/10 step back, and both feet go out of bounds. So this right here is 6/10 of a point off for that landing error. 3/10 for the huge step and 3/10 for going out of bounds. In addition to the first pass, we're now down 7/10 on landings. Third pass, this is another very solid one with a very controlled landing. Right here, almost stuck. I will say, I think they probably took a 1/10 for that little shuffle. That was not out of bounds. Also important to note, a 1/10 on the landing is normal. A 1/10 hop at the elite level with these very high-powered skills is considered a very controlled landing. It is not realistic to expect these gymnasts to stick every single pass, even though that is the theoretical goal. So a 1/10 landing deduction is something that any elite gymnast would be very happy with on a pass. All right, last pass here. This one I think is the most subjective out of all of them. Look here at the landing. This is 2 steps back with both feet out of bounds. Look at this. Now, the reason I think that this is so subjective is it was 2 steps back and it was both feet out of bounds. This second step that we're looking at right here, I think this is subjective on whether this counts as a small 1/10 step or a large 3/10 step. So the judges are definitely taking 3/10 off of this for 2 feet out of bounds. They're also taking then either 1/10 more or 3/10 more for the big step. And also 1/10 for the tiny step that came before the big step. So we're already at 4/10 off no matter what, 3/10 for both feet out of bounds, and then 1/10 for the tiny step that came first. Then we're looking at either an additional 1/10 for a total of 5/10 or an additional 3/10 for a total of 7/10. So we were already at 8/10 from the previous landings. In addition to the 5 to 7/10 that we have here, that gives us 1.3 to 1.5 just in landing deductions on the tumbling passes. And again, those are only landing deductions. So those deductions do not account for form in any of the tumbling passes. They don't account for landings or form on any of the leaps. They don't account for artistry, etc., etc. There are many other areas to take deductions. This is only looking at the landings on the tumbling passes. But yeah, that is why Simone's score seemed unusually low. It's because she did not have very controlled landings on this one specific day. And again, I want to make this so clear. This is no shade to Simone at all. None of us could even dream of performing that floor routine. I think it was perfection no matter what happened in the landings. And I am again astonished that I have the privilege to watch her perform. You go, girl.